thundering across North America and points unknown. This is it, the one and only No Baloney Hitline USA. Every single week, we're right here in your radio, putting you in direct contact with music's hottest stars. Of course, we got to thank Pepsi and your local Pepsi bottlers coast to coast. They're the ones that brought us here.
Absolutely.
This is Elvis Duran in New York City.
And I'm Brenda Ross in Hollywood. Now, later on tonight, the group Soho, you know, the ones with that hot song out called Hippie Chick, well, they're going to check in on the Hit Blast hotline from London. But first up tonight, it's a real pleasure to welcome back one of our best friends, Debbie Gibson. Hi, Debbie.
Brenda.
Hi.
Brenda. How are you?
It's rough being way over here in L.A. and having you guys way over there in New York.
I know. We'll make it work, though.
Okay.
We'll be there in a minute. We're leaving right now. Welcome back to the show, Debbie.
Thank you.
Of course, she's here in New York. She grew up listening to the radio station that we're at right now, Z100 Radio. Tonight, we're going to world premiere the first single from your brand new album. Of course, it's the title track, and you co-wrote, co-produced it with a friend, a real legend, Lamont Dozier, right?
Yes.
How did you two get together for this?
Well, in my live shows that I do, I always perform a Motown medley. And Paul Cooper from Atlantic Records actually got the idea. You know, he asked Lamont if he was into it, and he asked me if I was into it because I was performing some of his songs in my show. And we met, we were both into it, and we wrote about 10 songs together, 4 of which ended up on the album.
That's incredible. You know, Lamont Dozier is famous for what? Baby Love, Stop in the Name of
Stop
Love.
in the Name of
You
Love.
Can't Hurry Love. All these
Yeah.
love songs.
Love songs. Jimmy Mack. Yeah.
I
Lots
tell
of
you,
great stuff.
when you sat down with him, I mean, what was that like? Was it intimidating? How did you feel about that?
Well, actually, I'd met him a couple of times before, and he's such a nice person that you don't feel intimidated. I mean, basically, he just makes you feel real comfortable. So it wasn't like that, but I was real anxious to see what I could learn from him because he has written so many great songs.
Back to your new album. This is your third album, right?
Yep.
This time, you had a little time to put the album together. Your other two were put
Yes.
together a little faster. How was it to have this longer amount of time? Did you find yourself going back and changing things, or did you just do it, leave it? How was it having that extra time?
It was. I was really able to try more things that I had wanted to do on the first and second albums. Just for instance, I always wanted to work with a live string section, live horn sections, and it was that kind of thing that I really was able to experiment with. So also there are 16 songs on it, so that I had time to do that.
I wish we had time to play all 16, but unfortunately, you know,
we'll
we
be
don't.
here for like, what, a day and a half?
But we'll put some of the songs on the radio tonight. But
Great.
first up, those of you who don't know how this works, it's simple. If you want to talk with Debbie Gibson tonight, the toll-free number to punch up is 1-800-53-PEPSI, 1-800-537-3774. Debbie, why don't you tell us about the first single, Anything is Possible?
Okay, well, like you guys just mentioned, I co-wrote it with Lamont Dozier, and maybe, you know, I'll tell you a little bit about the video just because I think that kind of really describes the song. In the video, there are little vignettes of bad situations and people trying to get out of them, and bad situations turn good. You know, so I really wanted to show people that I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. And let's see, the verses of the song really have a love theme. It's really about, let's say, the untouchable guy and the girl who thinks she can't get him, and when he does, in fact, pay attention to her, he teaches her that anything is possible. And as far as the choruses go, the lyrics are anything is possible if you set your mind to it, so you really could apply that to anything you want, and that's kind of my philosophy in life.
All right, let's check it out. Fresh new music from Debbie Gibson on Hitline USA.
Anything is possible.
hot new world premiere of the title song and single from Debbie Gibson's Anything Is Possible CD. Debbie's here live with us in your radio. 1-800-53-PEPSI. Punch it. Talk to Debbie right now. It's your direct connection.
And that's also the number, Elvis, that locks everybody in on the MC Hammer Master Jammer Hollywood Hammer Slam. Ooh, I'm going to tell you more about that in just a bit.
I was just about to ask you what that was.
I'm going to tell you.
It's overwhelming. You wouldn't believe it, Debbie. It's so overwhelming. It's mind-boggling.
We're going to grab a couple of calls in a second, Debbie. I got to ask you, it's been an awesome 4 years. I mean, we have listened to you grow up on the radio. You started at 16 when you had your first hit. You've grown up right in front of millions of people. And as you look back on it, what was the toughest part of making transitions in the public eye and going from 16-year-old to today's Debbie Gibson?
Probably trying not to get caught up in consciously trying to make a transition, because I think that, really I just want to progress naturally, and I don't want anything about my image or anything to be put on. I just want to be myself. And a lot of times people say, well, what's your next move? And I'm saying, well, basically whatever feels natural to me is my next move.
I guess people are really smart. If you try to do something that wasn't natural, they would perceive
they
it.
Pick up on it. I mean, the public's, the people aren't stupid.
Everyone except for me. It's like, I buy into everything.
No, because I mean, if you're 16 years old and you're trying to dress all sexy and everything, you look like you're playing dress up, and I think you come across foolish.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. You should always just stick with who you are, and then that way people will be able to follow you, and you'll feel comfortable and won't have any problems.
Yeah, Brenda.
What?
Oh, never mind.
I was just curious. You had an unusual period of growth, your teen years especially, because of your stardom. I was just wondering if there was anything in your mind you felt you missed out as far as some of the normal things that most kids would go through that maybe you didn't miss or get because of your stardom.
No, we really always tried to keep things balanced, and, my family really also helped me with that. It was funny because as I was booking club dates and stuff, I'd have to say, wait a minute, I need this night off. It's junior prom. Because I said to myself, I don't want to be like 40 years old and looking back and saying, oh, I never went to my prom. I never went to, I really made sure I made time for everything. Although really my career has always come first, and I don't know what a normal childhood is really, because everyone's different, and I'm happy with mine. So.
All right. Well, we hope you're keeping a journal, because there's going to be some great autobiography material sometime in the future.
There's no time to keep a journal.
Okay, we'll let you off the hook on that one. Okay. Anyway, 1-800-53-PEPSI is the way you can talk with Debbie Gibson tonight. That's the number that Betsy in Mankato, Minnesota punched up. She's listening to us tonight on 96 K-Dog. Go ahead, Betsy.
Hi, Debbie. I was wondering, what people influenced you?
Let's see. Well, as far as music goes, Billy Joel was a very big influence, and also Elton John. I really like those performers that have really been around for a long time, for one, and who are real musicians. I mean, those are the people I look to for inspiration. And as far as, let's see, being a positive person, and as far as like my values and everything, I would have to say my parents kind of influenced me with all of that.
All right, thanks for your call, Betsy. Moving over to Springfield, listening to Power Hits 103.7. Casey, you're on Coast to Coast with Debbie Gibson. Go right ahead.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I was wondering, now that you're 20, do you still live at home with your parents?
Yeah, I do.
Is that rough?
What? No, actually, it's really not, because a lot of people tell me, come on, you're 20, don't you want to move out? And really, I kind of have it real good at home, because my mom is real fair with me. She realizes I'm 20. She gives me my space, and yet, seriously, I haven't even learned how to do laundry yet, so.
Well, none of us have.
Come on now, it's that part of living home. Also, I have my whole studio set up at home, and, I'm real comfortable at home.
Do you think there'll be a day when your mother says, okay, get out, go on?
Oh, no.
We're sick of it.
Seriously,
go about your business.
It's real funny, because we went through the typical mother-daughter changes over the past few years, but we just went about them differently. For instance, a lot of times, about 17 or 18, I want my space. Well, we were on the road, and the big thing was, Mom, I want my own room, because we always shared a suite.
Uh-huh.
And I said, Mom, I want my own room. And I was so. I mean, we went through the same things. It was just in a different location.
All right. Thanks for the call and the question, Casey. And don't forget, you're in the running to hang out with MC Hammer in Hollywood. We'll tell you all about it after this from Pepsi and your local Pepsi bottlers coast to coast.
Behold the fall, the crunching of fallen leaves.
Jamming the frequency large, loud, and live. It's Sunday night. The one and only Hitline USA. Debbie Gibson in the background. What a great pianist you
Debbie
are.
on piano.
I'm Elvis Duran, Z100 in New York City. That's where I work. I'm here along with Brenda Ross from Power 106 in Hollywood. Soho singing Hippie Chick's going to be here later. I feel like a lounge lizard. Hey, and now it's 2-for-1 shoots at the bar.
Elvis and the Lounge Lizards.
Right now, Debbie Gibson's hanging with us live. 1-800-53-PEPSI. You're always free direct connection to the stars. Now, everybody who gets on tonight and talks with Debbie automatically grabs a chance to win the MC Hammer Master Jammer Hollywood Hammer Slam.
Take his wife, please.
Pepsi's the proud sponsor of MC Hammer's Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him tour. One lucky listener and a guest will jet to Hollywood, stay in a fancy schmancy hotel, ride around in limos, and check out MC Hammer in concert. But there's more, Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go backstage, hang with the Hammer and his posse. All you got to do is listen to the Hitline, call in, and talk with the stars. We'll select one winner by random drawing on Sunday, November 25th, when MC Hammer himself will be our very special guest. You don't have to buy anything or stick anything in the mail. This is go on and on. But the legal guys say that the contest is void where prohibited, and if you're under 18 and you win, you'll have to bring along your parents. Boo! It's the MC Hammer Master Jam Board.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, where's my bell?
All right, Elvis Duran, Debbie Gibson, both live, all the way live in New York tonight and on your radio. Thanks, Debbie. Getting back to business now. I understand we've persuaded you to give us a little taste of your classic songs, at least one of them anyway.
Oh, okay.
Are you up for that?
Sure. It's only what, 11 at night, 11:15?
Wait, can I make a request? Can I request a song? It's
Go
my
ahead.
favorite. It's
Make
my
a
favorite
request.
Debbie Gibson song. I just get all soft and warm when I hear Lost in Your Eyes. Can you do it for us?
Sure.
All right, kick it for us. Here we go. Debbie Gibson is truly live on Hitline USA.
I get lost in your eyes, and I feel my spirits rise, and soar like the wind. Is it love that I am in? Oh, I get weak in a glance. Isn't this what's called romance? And now I know, 'cause when I'm lost, I can't let go.
Gibson, Lost in Your Eyes from her Electric Youth album. Before that, Debbie Gibson. Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, no, it was really neat. You sang it live. All right, Debbie Gibson, Lost in Your Eyes from her Electric Youth album. Before that, Debbie Gibson. Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, no, it was really neat. You sang it live for us. Then we went to the pre-recorded version, the one that sold all the millions of records and is continuously putting cash into your bank account. But anyway, my question is, speaking of recorded music, when you go on television shows and they say, Debbie, we want you to lip sync, we want you just to sing to this track.
That.
You hate it?
I hate that. In fact, when I was doing club dates even, I always sang live. You know, you had to have pre-recorded tracks, obviously, because I had no money to have a band. And I needed a way to get out there and perform, but I always sang. I would do an hour sound check to do a 20-minute show because I wanted it to sound good, and I'm a singer. And, you know, I love that controversy because I don't see how people could call their show live and then kind of cheat people.
You know, they're about to pass laws, especially up here in the Northeast.
I hope that they do. I really do, because you know, people start assuming that all pop acts lip sync, and we don't use a sequencer on stage. You know, everything's totally live, and if it sounds a little bit different from the record, well, it should, because it's live. You know, yeah. So that's that.
Well, on that subject, going a little bit further, what about a tour for Debbie Gibson? Are you planning one now?
Yeah, I'm going to be starting in Southeast Asia in January, and I'll be in the U.S. starting in February.
Excellent.
Will you give us free tickets, please?
Come on, Elvis.
Let's go to the phones. I hear that our Hit Blast hotlines are going bananas. People want to talk to you right now. Jenny, listening to Q102 in Des Moines. You're on live with Debbie Gibson.
Hi, I just want to know that I think you're a really good singer, and I think you're really pretty.
Oh, thank you.
And my question is, did you know you were going to be a singer when you were a kid, and do you have advice for people who want to be a singer?
Yeah, I really feel like I've known that I wanted to sing forever. It was always just something that was a part of me. And I would really say just go out and get all the experience you can, and don't give up, because, I mean, if I could count the people that told me, you know, there's 1,000,000 to 1 shot, blah, blah, blah. If you really think you can make it, then you definitely can. And there's really no magic formula. It's basically about knocking on a lot of doors and hoping one opens.
Thanks for the call, Jenny, and good luck. Next up, more calls plus a double shot of Debbie after this from Pepsi and your local Pepsi bottler.
The choice of a new generation. Take some time to think and you'll discover this soft drink right here is like no other.
You're tuned in to Hitline USA on Hit Radio 94.5 KSMB.
Creeping and crawling out of only the coolest radios on the planet. This is the Hitline. Hey, I'm Elvis Duran coming at you live with Debbie Gibson in New York City.
And I'm Brenda Ross on the left coast in Hollywood. Next week, Bette Midler will join us. In 2 weeks, it's Paul McCartney live. And in 3 weeks, MC Hammer will be here.
Good grief. What did we do to deserve all these superstars?
I don't know.
Tonight, 1-800-53-PEPSI connects you to our very special guest, Debbie Gibson. We're celebrating the upcoming release of her fresh new album and single called... Anything is Possible.
Debbie, one of the amazing things about you is that you were able to write so many songs with incredible depth at such an early age. What would you say today to a teenager who was interested in pursuing a singing or songwriting career?
Really, as far as songwriting goes, just kind of, I think everyone has a running dialogue in their head at all times, and it's a matter of pulling from it and really tuning into what you're thinking about, and realize that probably other people are thinking similar thoughts, so you should write about it, you know. And I mean, my first song was like, my puppy grew and grew, I didn't know. Actually, the first one was Make Sure You Know Your Classroom. That was the second one. So no matter how terrible your first songs are, keep
this
at
stuff
it.
just rolls off of her, you know, it just rolls out.
Oh, God.
You make it seem so easy.
Can I say something? Can I just interrupt you?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks. I met some people the other night named Eddie and Carolyn. Wait, Eddie Cable, I think it is, and Carolyn Shackness, and they told me they met. This just something impressed me, and I just wanted to congratulate them because they met during my concert at Radio City a couple of years ago, and Lost in Your Eyes is their wedding song, and they're getting married now, November 10th. And
All right.
That's so sweet.
Name your first...
I love that story.
have them name their first child Debbie, and if it's a boy, name him Elvis.
No.
I know your next mountain you're going to climb has to be film, right? Have you gotten any good offers lately?
Well, actually, I was supposed to be doing a film called Skirts, and then Sony took over Columbia, whole like political thing. And those plans got put on hold. And once plans get put on hold, I mean, everyone goes off to do their own thing, you know, to do a new project. And for me, it was this album. So I'm actually looking into doing another film at the end of this year. And I don't really want to say anything about it because nothing's definite and blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
blah,
come
blah.
on.
No.
Please.
All I could say it's very realistic. It's about real problems in real life. I don't want to do anything
Like
real.
Xanadu.
I don't want to do anything real, like sugary sweet to the point that it's not realistic. And so that's what I'm looking into doing.
Great. Well, I want to play another song of yours. Can I? We're about to kick off a double shot of your music. First up, #1 smash from your first album. Tell us about Foolish Beat. You love it?
What's it? What can I tell you about it? Basically, I wrote it based on nothing, and I can relate to it more now than I did at the time I wrote it.
Well, here it is. Foolish Beat on Hitline USA.
Hitline USA with the title track off Debbie Gibson's last album, Electric Youth, wrapping up a double shot tonight. We're going to get back to the phones and take more calls, so stick around.
Universe live on the satellite. This is Hitline USA. I'm Elvis Duran along with Brenda Ross. Soho and Hippie Chick. They're coming up before the top of the hour. Right now, we're rolling hits and taking calls for Debbie Gibson.
Debbie's new album and single are called Anything Is Possible, and Mike in New York probably thinks that's true. He's listening to Z100. Mike, you're on live with Debbie Gibson.
Hello.
Debbie,
Yeah.
first of all, I have to tell you, the new album sounds great. I was at the listening party Friday night, and it sounds great. I love it.
Thank you.
My question for you is this. I read a lot about you, and when you were younger and you used to perform at something different for the free ice cream at the end of the night.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I would like to know what's the funniest thing you ever read about yourself.
What's the funniest thing I ever read about myself? Probably that I was posing for Playboy.
Oh, I got that issue. I love that.
That was pretty funny. That was really funny. Yeah, that one takes the cake. No. There was another funny one that and see, everyone always wants to know if Tiffany and I are friends, and we are.
Oh, you mean that Cabbage Patch thing?
Yeah, there was a story with.
What?
There was a story
Yeah.
that I had performed a voodoo ritual on a Tiffany doll.
And then, didn't they like superimpose a picture of a Cabbage Patch in your hand
They
or something?
superimposed a picture of a cabbage. Yeah, I would really be walking into a big party with a Cabbage Patch doll in my hand with red hair and Tiffany's face superimposed onto the doll and needles sticking out of it. I said, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable."
I love the Inquirer. I remember another story. Maybe you forgot about this. The headlines were Debbie Gibson kidnapped by aliens and returned to Earth with a great new diet. It's in the new Inquirer coming up. Thanks for calling in. You're in the running for our MC Hammer Hollywood Hammer Slam. You're going to think about that when you go home and go, God, I get it. Make sure you listen on November 25th. We're going to give away those MC Hammer tickets backstage. We're going to fly you in, and we're going to announce the winner that night.
All right. Debbie, we're going to roll out a song you wrote when you were 13, Only in My Dreams. How do you write, by the way? At a table, over the piano, in bed, in the bathtub, what?
Not in the bathtub because the lyrics would start running. The pen would start dripping and stuff. So mainly, no, I write in bed, in hotel rooms, on airplanes. Really, I write from my head to paper. So it's it's good. I don't have to be near a piano. It's like I play the most difficult instrument because I really like piano more than keyboards and everything, and more than synthesizers. So, you can't like strap one of them to your back and take them on the road with you.
That would be rather
So I learned real quick how to write, really with no instruments around.
All right, here's Only in My Dreams. Debbie Gibson on Hitline USA.
There she is, Debbie Gibson, doing Only in My Dreams on Hitline USA. We're right back after this from Pepsi and your local Pepsi bottler.
On the Hitline USA on 94.5 KSMV.
There isn't a Sunday night that flies by that we aren't here right here in your radio wreaking havoc. Thanks for listening tonight. This is the Hitline. I'm Elvis Duran.
And I'm Brenda Ross. Debbie Gibson is with us live tonight. We're going to do Shake Your Love in just a second, but right now we're going to head out to Jersey where Phil is listening in on Z100. Phil, you're on live with Debbie Gibson.
Hey, Deb. This is Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Here with John, Don, Nagira, Dade, and Floyd Siski. We don't want to know who that hot
Gazoon
producer
tight.
Fred Czar.
What was that?
We want to know who the hot producer Fred Czar is.
Oh, well, Fred worked a lot on actually all 3 albums. He did a song on this album called Stand Your Ground, and he produced a lot of the first and second albums. What can I say about Fred? He's a great guy. Phil, you there?
Phil is in such awe. He just fainted live on the radio.
Phil, the thing is, you sound like you're from Brooklyn, not Jersey.
Thanks for your call, Phil. All right, everybody, get up. Shake your thing. It's Shake Your Love. Debbie Gibson's on Hitline USA.
Shake your love. I just can't shake your love. Shake your love. I just can't shake your love. Shake your love.
Hitline USA. There she is, of course, Shake Your Love from our very
Shake
special
your
guest
love.
DJ tonight,
Just
Debbie.
can't shake
Gibson.
Your love.
Debbie, it's great having you here with us playing live tonight. Thanks for taking time out to come in and hang with us. We really appreciate it.
Hey, it was fun.
Yeah. The new Debbie Gibson album and single is called Anything Is Possible. Buy it tonight. Stand by.
That wasn't an out-and-out plug, was it, Brenda?
Absolutely.
Pay too much for it.
Stand by. We got a hit blast with Solo and Hippie Chick up next.
Behold the glorious sounds of fall.